Hello, LilyKatchum video. Today we're going to take a look at Haunter in the Open Ultra League. I am a bit surprised about this as well, but honestly, thinking about the moveset that this player here is going to have, I'm kinda excited to see on how good this Pokemon actually is going to be here. Astonish makes quite a lot of sense actually on that Haunter. You might think Shadow Claw is clearly the better move, and in theory, most likely it is the better move, but in this kind of case, I feel like actually Astonish makes a bit of sense with the moveset that we have here right now, because Shadow Punch got buffed, and before you're running Ice Punch plus Shadow Ball. So basically, you do a bit more damage with Astonish compared to Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw there, and so with the Astonish damage plus the Shadow Punch damage plus Ice Punch as a coverage move, I'm fairly certain that you're actually going to have quite some decent play here against a lot of the Pokemon, as you do quite a lot of damage to the fast move already. With Shadow Punch buff plus of course the Astonish damage, you can't do as much as you would do with a Shadow Ball, and Ice Punch just going to be kinda extra coverage. And so I feel like this is a very interesting moveset, and as you're gonna see here already, it is definitely working out quite well already in the first battle, as you're gonna see a lot of damage onto the Primarina. You put them not into Brutal Swing range. You were supposed to get a free fast move in here, which you were not able to get because the game is literally bugged like crazy, but you should be able to survive this hit here, as it's going to be very likely just a Thunder Punch. Usually Gastrodon is able to completely hardwall the Ampharos, and so you're going to be able to go for 2 Brutal Swings against the opponent's Primarina here next, which is going to be great. You didn't need the extra fast move here, just going for 2 Brutal Swings would be all it takes here anyway, and so you're going to be able to still win the battle, but you made it a bit closer for yourself maybe. But we can move on to the next opponent here, as they're going to take a bit longer to get the Brutal Swing off. So, next opponent, let's see who we're going to have here. We're going to have a Thunderous in the... Like, this player here, by the way, is still at, like, I think he's at 2,300 rating later on in the video as well with this team. And so, it is not that it's, like, low elo range or whatever. People just having a laugh here right now, that's all it is. Thunderous, I guess, is even built here for the opponent, because looking at the CP here, they most likely actually invested a bit into it. And they just was kind of trying to have some fun with this Pokemon. It's double moved as well, so, like, this is not someone who is, like, bad at the game or anything like this, not knowing what they're doing. They're just having some fun with the Thunderous, and I definitely appreciate it, so shout out to you, opponent, there. But we're gonna see here coming in next the Muk, which is going to be an interesting Pokemon as well. Brutal Swing and Dragon Claw now has the same amount of energy, while Brutal Swing does 5 more damage compared to Dragon Claw, so that's going to be an interesting one. We're gonna see the Thunder Punch coming through, and you can align your Haunter now. Haunter can double resist the fast move, as it can go for the full farm down here as well against the opponent's Muk, which is going to be great. Thunder Punch is coming through, and we will see the full farm down coming through here as well now, as the Nidoqueen is not enjoying that Ice Punch at all. And also, what is the best Buddy Badge doing on this Pokemon? Like, what did Niantic think? Yeah, we're just gonna have it float mid-air a meter away from the main body. Like, what is happening here? Just generally speaking, I have no idea. But Best Buddy Haunter apparently has some play here, as you're gonna see the full farm on, as well as, like, yeah, they're gonna be able to finish up this battle. Gastrodon against Ampharos, that's going to be a very interesting matchup again, as you're gonna see the full fast move down basically, as you're gonna be able to take any kind of hit from the opponent. And as it looks like, they're very likely double weak to you in the back as well, or like in general like double weak with that team, because they're staying in with such a horrible matchup. Like, this is such a bad matchup for the Ampharos, and so your best interest is to just fully farm them down here, get a ton of energy, and swap out most likely into whatever is coming in, because there's very likely another Pokemon very weak to you in the back. Tapu Fini is not going to be that Pokemon, and you stay in and go for a charge move, which I don't really agree with. You should went into your own Tapu Fini, which you do now at least, and there's going to be another Pokemon in the back. I can guarantee you at this point that's going to be weak against Gastrodon. So let's see here. Nature's Madness is coming through, and they're gonna be able to stay in for a bit longer as well, as you can go for your own Nature's Madness. And they're basically kind of getting rid of their only answer very likely for the Gastrodon, and that's why they decide to use a shield here as well, which does make sense now. And you could let the move go through and just rely on your Haunter. With the updated switch clock here as well, you should be able to swap out very soon into your Gastrodon again, so like this should not be an issue. You actually can already swap into it. Oh, look at this, a Pokemon that's weak to a Dragon type Pokemon. What a surprise here. That's like something that is definitely very important, by the way. If you want to climb up in the Go Battle League, reading your opponent's team based on their behavior is very important. And so here, for example, it was quite obvious that they're going to have a Pokemon in the back that's weak to Gastrodon, and they were able to, kind of take advantage of that. They could have taken even a bit more advantage as well if they swapped out a bit earlier against the Tapu Fini, but you're still going to be in a spot where you basically guarantee a win here, as the Brutal Swing is going to get the shield. You can go for one Shadow Punch as well, as you would even be able to take a hit here from the opponent with your Haunter, so that is going to be a very good game, as the Shadow Punch is going to be enough to knock out that Tapu Fini. So let's take a look at the next opponent. What do we see here? We're gonna see a Chestnut. Very likely going to be something like an Aurora's in the back, something like another what's called like some electric type in the back makes a lot of sense. You kind of really need to pair the Chestnut with a Pokemon that are better against like flying type Pokemon mainly. So I'm curious what's actually going to be now. Could be also some steel type in the back. Like a lot of times there's something like a Registeel or something like the Steelix lurking in the back as well with this Pokemon. So we will see what's going to be. We're gonna see the knockout here, which is not really ideal. Clefable, that is something where you can swap out into your other Pokemon. I don't really know where you stay in here, to be fair, but you're going to be able to resist all the hits basically with your Haunter, and so it would have been a bit more ideal to go into the Haunter, I would say. But you're gonna get the shield here, which is fine for you, as well as you're gonna see now, like, Haunter is not even reaching 2300 CP and can farm down in a Clefable here, which is ridiculous. Swift is gonna be shield up. I guess it is safe to go for one shield, because if they have Meteor Mash, it would do a lot of damage, but still, you could have played this a bit better as well. They have a Crobat in the back, which doesn't make any sense at all. This Pokemon is just not great. There was actually a time, funnily enough, where Crobat was really fun to run, and I used it in videos as well. I highly doubt that this Pokemon still has any play. But honestly, maybe I should take a look at it again. Like, it is an interesting Pokemon for sure, having access to Poison Fang as well as Shadow Ball, just not really a great fast move. And so, maybe it still has some potential in the current meta. Could have some play for sure. But yeah, we're gonna see here that you're gonna be easily able to win the battle with your Haunter here. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have Gastly against the Giratina. Very favorable lead for you, and you have some decent answers in the back as well. Issue here is, of course, they do super effective damage back against you as well, but you have super effective coverage for them as well. So, like, you're going to be in a very solid spot. There's nothing really to worry about. You should have got a free fast move in here, which is, again, based on the game not working correctly, which is kind of annoying. Oh, no, never mind. They actually CMP-tied on you. Never mind. The first one takes 4 fast moves with me 12 turns, so the opponent went for 6 fast moves on their own and CMP tied against you, so completely disregard what I just said because it doesn't make sense in a retrospective. But we're gonna see here the Feraligatr coming in, and honestly I feel like you should have just stayed in. Your backline would have been better against something like the Pokemon that you saw in the lead there with the Giratina compared to the Feraligatr here. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad matchup as well, but yeah, you're gonna still take quite a bit of damage here, and luckily the opponent decides to not go for a shield there, because otherwise they would have been able to definitely force even maybe a knockout against you, which would have been a bit worse. But they go into the Tentacruel here, which is going to be a horrible matchup for you. You can go for a Surf. If you get a shield, this would be mad, but of course you don't, and so it's down to Haunter now. But this is actually a very favorable matchup for the Haunter. You have to hope that you don't get the debuff here though. Like, it's a not this type of debuff. I thought about the different debuff here of like Scald, for example, but this is going to be great for you because you don't really take any damage from the fast moves anyway, and so they're going to be able to catch the move here, which is going to take them out if you would go for the full knockout there, which I guess you don't want to, which I don't know if I agree with, but actually never mind, it's fine. The opponent is forced to go for a charge move here against you, and with this, you should be kind of okay. You even might be able to reach a move, you are not, but you can still get to another move here, or just go for the full farm down, as you still have one shield, and so that's going to be a good game. Well played, and we can take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have Giratina against you in the lead here again, which is kind of the same, but they saw about this time around the Combalion. I guess it's fine. Like, you have 2 decent answers against this Pokemon. I guess it might be a bit better because here you can actually take a Stone Edge, while for the Haunter it might be a bit tricky to take the Stone Edge, while of course the fast move is triple resisted, as well as the main charge move is triple resisted. So they're forced to go for the Stone Edge the entire time, which is the same case here. But you might be able to go, no, you're not going to be able to go for the full farm down, and so you let the move go through actually. That's quite interesting. Are you going to go back into your Guzzlord? Yes you are, and you're going to go for the full farm down here, getting up to a charge move and hope there's something in the back that you can deal with. What is it gonna be? It is gonna be again the Giratina swapping in here. Not ideal fast move timing. One more fast move was kind of needed to have the perfect fast move timing, and there was no real drawback from that. But it is what it is. We're gonna see here the opponent going for another Dragon Claw, doing around half of your HP, and you can go Why do you go for a Dragon Claw again? Like here, Dragon Claw is always going to be worse than the other move, than Brutal Swing. So please go for Brutal Swing in neutral scenarios. I think it is 5 more damage. Before I'm gonna say any nonsense here as well, I'm rather gonna take a look real quick on the side. But I'm fairly certain it's 5 extra damage for Brutal Swing compared to Dragon Claw. But still, in this game, you should be still fine with your Astonish Haunter in the back, and so you're gonna be seeing a victory here as well, as I can go for the full farm now. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to have here. We're going to have more Giratina, 3 times back-to-back Giratina in the lead. That is quite a record, I would say, and I think they were all shiny as well, which is quite madness. So this looks like a very solid matchup for you. I hope I was not like the same person all over again. But let's take a look at this. We're going to see the chart move coming through. They're going to play out the lead matchup, which is going to be very decent for you. As you're going to see here, Dragon Claw is definitely going to be a move that has 50 damage. I know that for sure. But I'm fairly certain that Brutal Swing has 55, which it does. And so, yeah, please go for neutral scenarios for Brutal Swing, and where both moves are super effective for Brutal Swing. Here, of course, that is totally fine to go for the Dragon Claw, as Brutal Swing would be resisted. But, oh, that is going to be a lovely matchup here. I can't wait to... I want to say I can't wait to see that, but the opponent also couldn't really want to see that there in general, so they forfeited. I really wanted to see the damage output of the Haunter against Cresselia. Like, why did they do this to me? I feel a bit sad about this, but I'm not feeling too sad about the damage output here, because it's basically nothing against your Gastlout, which is quite hilarious. So, you're gonna see the shield coming up. This is gonna be fine, as we will see as well here the opponent having to take a Brutal Swing. That's going to be a very solid matchup for you. You can let the move go through again, and it might be the Ice Beam, it is going to be the Hydro Cannon, and you're going to be fine, as you even can take another one here, I think, and so you're going to be able to align yourself, have a charge move stored, and also have a shield advantage, I think, and so you are in a great spot. As the opponent has a normal Machamp here, which is a bit more awkward. I actually would have liked for you... What is wrong with the opponents? I don't even understand anything here at this point anymore. They're just forfeiting straight away. Oh, you have a Fairy type Pokemon, I just forfeit. Anyway, we're going to see here the... why do I not get those opponents? I don't know. We're going to see here Venusaur. Venusaur is going to be fine. And I saw him getting ranked at 2300 rating, by the way. And so, like, this is not, like, any low-ish rating either. So, I'm kind of curious about what is happening here again. Please go for Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is just 5 more damage for free here. It doesn't make sense to go for Dragon Claw. Never makes sense to go for Dragon Claw if you have 2 neutral moves, but it is what it is. You're still going to be able to fully farm them down and go for the Brutal Swing here against the Skeledirge. That will do some super effective damage, and quite a bit of it, as we will see the swap out into the Tapu Fini, which can take any kind of hit here. And here's the cool thing, which I always kind of like: if you have a Pokemon that can guarantee debuffs onto the opponent's defense, you would be able, at least in theory, to drop them before swapping into your Haunter, but here, yes, you rather go for the Shadow Punch without giving up anything, and you still should be fine here using a shield, fully farming them down. But it would have been cool if you would have went for the Nature's Madness and then swap out with a Pokemon that has like a ton of fast move pressure, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to be easily able to win the battle, and that is going to be, for sure, a very good game. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have here the Steelix in the lead. You're kind of forced to swap out, I wanted to say, but apparently not. I guess it's a bit awkward anyway, no matter which Pokemon you have there, but Haunter would have been a bit of a neutral matchup. You really need to have Tapu Fini against this Pokemon, because Tapu Fini is very good for this one, but they even have Breaking Swipe, which makes it just basically you to sacrifice your Gastlout here, I guess, which is okay. Gastlout is not going to appreciate this matchup at all, but you're still going to get them kind of low, but they're forced, like, they can go for the full farm on the end. A very tough spot. At least you're going to have a great answer now with the Tapu Fini here going to take the hit quite easily, and we're going to at least see now Cresselia against the Haunter. I feel like you kind of got denied another fast move there, which is not really ideal, but Grass Knot was quite an obvious one there based on the fast move timing from the opponent, as they got there before you can even go for a Shadow Punch, and you swapped out straight away, and so that is definitely clearly always a, Grass type move. Speaking of Grass type move, there's another one for you, and so, I don't know, I guess it's not really the best matchup for you either, but still, there would have been definitely some ways of playing it a bit better for yourself. Shadow Punch coming through, gonna get the shield, you're gonna get knocked out here by any kind of Crunch or Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs would also knock you out. Breaking Swipe doesn't, but you can go for the full farm down, and in comes now the Granbull. a pretty bad fast move timing here, sadly, which is giving the opponent a free charm. That free charm can actually impact you quite a bit now as well, as the opponent is going to be able to outspeed you with that. And so sadly, you're going to lose this battle, which is not ideal, but it is what it is, and we can move on to the final battle for today. Next one, let's take a look at this one. We're going to have the Machamp here, Shadow Machamp, and it's going to be a Licky in the back. Hopefully, like, the kind of suggestions that I gave you here for some kind of differences in play will help you out for the future as well. Go for Brutal Swing in neutral scenarios, that's one big thing. Try to keep the advantage based on what you know the opponent going to have or what you expect the opponent to have. For example, I had like that one matchup in the beginning there, we already know what they're going to have in the back, like in terms of a Pokemon being weak to Gusload. You still went for a charge move against a Pokemon where something from Gusload would be resisted instead of keeping the energy. Stuff like this is something that you can definitely improve on, and this is kind of why I also like to showcase some other people's gameplay. It's not that my gameplay is flawless, like my gameplay is never flawless. I make a lot of mistakes as well, but it's kind of easier for me to see like fresh games and see, oh, what could I have done differently in order to win those battles, than rewatching my own gameplay, because I kind of know in that situation, but I don't always tell it in the videos as well. So this kind of easier for you to maybe understand as well, a few more mechanics or like a few more things for you in terms of improving your own battles, which I feel like is very important. So if you appreciate this type of videos and if you want to see some more of them, feel free to leave a like, as you're gonna see a Dragapult in the back. This would get a one-shot by this move, and so they're definitely going to use a shield here, and you can swap out into your Gusload again, which can go for the full farm down. You're going to be able to use a shield here against the Breaking Swipe coming in here, and you will go for the full farm down as well, as a one more charge move is going to be all it takes, and you can win the final battle. So thanks so much for sending me in those very interesting battles. I really like the moveset of Astonish as well as Shadow Punch on the Haunter there, so thanks so much for that, and I hope I see you then. Bye bye.